Right, we are live, but we do have to wait for Zoom. So if you guys have joined us,
female presenter,
welcome to the show.
Don't stand like this.
There we are.
And I'm going to shut off my thing in the background.
Okay, here we go. This meeting is being live streamed. No kidding. Right. Hey folks, I'm Oz Lindlaw from linsfood.com. And over there is my good friend.
I'm Giangi with Giangi's Kitchen. Hi, everyone. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday,
Aslan.
indeed. Yeah, our clocks have moved. So you're starting an hour earlier now, aren't you?
Absolutely 10 o'clock. And I'm glad I checked because we never move in Arizona. So everybody moves around us. But all of a sudden now I'm Pacific Standard Time. And then you moved and I'm like, panic mode. Luckily, it was good. It was okay.
That's right. So for those of us who are watching us for the first time, I'm in the UK and Giangi is in Arizona. So in British summertime, which is BST time now, there's an 8-hour difference between us. So today we're going to do some Easter sides. But before we move on, if you can hear any knocking sounds, I do apologize. My front porch is being done and he's supposed to have finished by now. He's not. So we shall ignore that and move on very swiftly. So today we're doing a couple of very quick sides. We're calling it Easter sides, but they can be served and eaten at really any time of the year. And I'm doing a warm salad with baby potatoes and asparagus. What are you doing, Giangi?
I'm going to make a very simple green beans gremolata. So I'm mixing a little bit of French, a little bit of Italian on the two. It's a very simple recipe. And like you said, you can have it for Easter, Memorial Weekend, 4th of July, any times of the week, because you can eat it warm and you can also eat it cold as a salad. So it's perfect for summer picnic, anytime, like I said, any time of the year. It's a fabulous vegetables side dish.
That's right. So same here. It's a salad, but yeah, makes a great side dish with whatever meat or fish you happen to be having, or vegetable main dish for your Easter or Sunday lunch or whatever. So we're going to dive right in. I've got two parts to the recipe itself. I've got the potatoes, I've got the asparagus, or maybe 3 parts, and then the salad dressing. So I'm going to get started with the potatoes. I've got here some baby potatoes. I've scrubbed them. I'm leaving the skin on because I like potatoes with skin. I'm going to halve them. So that's what I'm going to be doing now before placing them in that pan of boiling water that I'm going to add some salt to. In the meantime, Giangi, you go ahead and tell us what you're doing.
Well, what I did, I took some string beans and I removed the tip, both sides of the tip, the bottom and the top. Now, if you're like me, you're lazy and you don't want to be pulling it, a knife, perfectly fine. So I am going to parboil those green beans, which I have a boiling water in the back of me, and then I'm going to be there for 2 to 3 minutes. Then put them in a bath of cold water to shock them, but also to stop the cooking process and keeping them nice and crisp, but also nice and green. So while you're doing that, I think I'm just going to put my little string beans in, but let me see. Why don't I just tell you a little bit more what kind of ingredient we're going to use with this too. I think what I'm going to be using, the gremolata is an Italian little herb mix, which it takes parsley, garlic, lime zest, and also I'm going to add some toasted pine nuts. And if you don't know how to do toasted pine nuts, it's very simple. You put them on a little skillet over the stove. You just watch them because it takes very quickly to do. Once they're nicely toasted, as you can see here, little toasted, you take them off the skillet because they continue cooking, and then you just add them to it. And then, of course, some Parmesan cheese to it. I also like to put a little bit of lemon over it, squeeze a little bit of lemon over it. So what I'm going to do, Aslan, I am going to start by putting in my green beans. Are we almost on the same level, right? Perfect. I'll do this.
Cool. I'm placing the potatoes in the hot water. Most of them are going in. The odd one's escaping, but hey, that's all right.
Do you have a runaway potato over there?
Yeah, I've got a couple of pieces of runaway potatoes. There we are. So we're going to essentially cook those potatoes for about 8 to 10 minutes. They're baby potatoes, so they weren't big to begin with. And then on top of that, I halved them. So while waiting for that, what I'm going to do is make a salad dressing.
Okay.
So for the salad dressing, we've got the obligatory olive oil. So I'm using the same amounts of olive oil, white wine vinegar is what I usually use for this, but today I've got some rice, white rice vinegar, because I'm doing an alcohol-free month, and white wine vinegar still do contain a minuscule amount of alcohol. So feel free to use white wine vinegar or red wine vinegar if you want to as well. So we've got extra virgin olive oil, we've got some vinegar, and then now I'm going to add, have I got the right mustard? No, I haven't got the right mustard. So I was buying mustard one day at the shops. Yeah, and I picked this up, and when I brought it back, I thought that's a bit creamy, and then I realized it's mustard and mayonnaise. So
really,
yes, that's my mustard. So which is nice, because you know mayonnaise is meant to be spiked, isn't it?
Oh yes, and I always mix my mayonnaise and mustard together on myself. On the rare occasion that I'm making a sandwich, I always mix the two. Everybody laughs, but I do. It's just the way it is. It's just you mix it. So while you're doing that, actually, as you can see, I put my garlic on the bottom and I put a bunch of parsley on it. I'm going to actually pull my little string beans out in a second here. So perfect. Okay, Aslan.
So we've got, I've got this salad dressing, just looking for a fork, because no matter how well I think I've prepared pre-show, I always forget something.
I know, right? But that's the beauty of being live. You always, you know, we're human. Like when we cook in our kitchen, it's the same way. We do things differently sometimes, right?
We're just going to whisk this, yeah? So that was very, very easy. Just the 3 ingredients plus pepper. Now, in the recipe itself, I give you an optional slight amount of mayonnaise to make that salad dressing creamy. So, you know, in theory, I could have used that mustard with mayonnaise. So there you go. So we've mixed it up and we've got a creamy looking salad dressing.
Wonderful.
And make it more, so it's become an emulsion, make it more creamy, add some mayo in there if you like. So that's it, that's done. We're going to place that to the side and to leave the flavors to work their magic. So the potatoes are cooking away. 8 to 10 minutes is what they want, until you take a small knife, until the knife goes right through, which is nowhere near there yet. So Giangi, where are we with you?
Well, I am actually, my green beans are perfectly ready. I am going to take them out and put them in an ice bath water right here. They're not going to be happy with me, but that's the way it works, right? Sorry, guys, you're seeing my back, but I'll be back.
Oh, that's all right. We love looking at your back, Giangi.
What can I say? I'm sorry.
So listen, while the potatoes are cooking, I'm going to do my asparagus, okay? So because it's a warm or room temperature baby potato and asparagus salad. So I've only got a few here, a few asparagus sticks. So with asparagus, look for green, healthy looking asparagus. Stay away from all the brown ones and stay away from the tips that have sort of spread out like a flower. So essentially with asparagus, you clean it, you give it a wipe, and then you just kind of bend it to know when. You don't even have to cut it. It will just break off at the right point. And this will be your woody stem, and this will be the part that's fleshy and soft and digestible. Use this for stalks, especially if you're making asparagus risotto. Use that for your risotto stock. So I've got my asparagus, and I'm doing that with all of them.
And I was lying. My dog is free in the house. I'm sorry, folks. Every Friday, I try to put my dog away, and every Friday he shows up because he wants to be part of the show. So sorry about him barking. Alrighty, while you're doing that, I just want to let you see my green beans are in the ice bath, and they're going to sit here for a bit until they're completely cool off. And as you can see, they have kept a beautiful green shade to us. So while you're doing that, I am going to continue making the parsley with the garlic.
Okay, so I'm going to blanch the asparagus essentially what Giangi did with her green beans. So I've got a pot of water boiling away. I've got salt in there, and here's a trick for those of you who live in hard water places or even neutral water. Add a pinch of sodium bicarbonate when you're blanching green vegetables. And the reason for that is hard water leaches out the magnesium from the chlorophyll in green vegetables. So when you add a little bit of sodium bicarb, you're increasing the alkalinity of your hard water, and therefore the magnesium doesn't leach, it sticks to the chlorophyll, and your green vegetables retain their green, especially, of course, if you don't cook them too long and you dump them straight into an ice water bath after that. Because when magnesium leaves chlorophyll, chlorophyll becomes a browny green yucky color. So asparagus tips, spears going in there.
With the potatoes, right?
In a separate saucepan. Whoa, in a separate saucepan.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't see the sauce over there.
Here we
Thank
are.
you for that tip, because I live in a very, very harsh water area. Matter of fact, I have a water softener, and most all of us do. But it's really amazing. There's a lot of copper in our land and our soil. Well, Arizona is one of the biggest producers of copper, and our soil is very acidic. So I'm glad you gave that tip. That's fabulous to know. Thank you.
So we're just going to check to see what the spuds are doing. Still not done yet. Do you all know what spuds, the word spuds means? I don't know if that's something in the US, a word that's used in the US.
Do you mean the potatoes?
Yeah. Do you call them spuds there too?
No, we don't. We call them potatoes.
Well, yeah, we call them potatoes or potatoes.
No, all potatoes. We call them a little golden nugget on some of them. Then there's fingerlings. But we do use spuds, but it's an old term that I have not heard in a very long time, as a matter of fact. But I knew what it was. All right, yeah.
Right.
Chopping away here.
The asparagus has had, I don't know, who's counting? Anybody been counting down for me? A minute, perhaps? I'm just going
I think we are on our 8
I'm
minutes.
going to take those asparagus out now because, I don't like overcooked asparagus, and I'm going to dump them straight into that ice bath, just like Giangi did her green beans. There we are. Leave them there to cool. And that's done. So we've got potatoes that are cooking away. We've got asparagus that have cooked, just been blanched, and they're sitting in an ice bath now. And then we've got a simple salad dressing made with mustard, olive oil, and some vinegar, and some black pepper. Before I mix them all up, I'm going to just lightly char those potatoes to give them sort of, a smoky, blackened appeal, as it were.
Perfect. So while you're doing that, I just finished chopping my parsley with my garlic. Now, I'm sorry, my refrigerator decided to give me some ice cubes right now. So you can use a little food processor if you want to make the process a lot faster. I didn't want to bug you with all the noise again. Seems like I do that every week. So I mixed the two together. And so what I'm going to do now, I am going to take the lime zest and put it right over it as well into it. And it's 2 lemons. So I'm just going to do this right now. I'm putting it all together, then blending it while my little string beans are cold. Let me taste. Actually, I love string beans. My dad used to make string beans all the time for us when I was growing up, and I loved them. But there is sometimes, like sauteed in butter and all that. But I love this recipe.
Yeah.
But I do love string beans.
Yeah,
Perfect.
me too. Do you grow them?
Oh,
Do you grow them in this? Well, you have a super long summer, don't you? Do you grow them?
yes, I do. No, I do not grow them because it's very hard here to grow them. We're already 99 degrees. We're going to go down to 81, 88 this weekend. But it's I have not had any luck on growing them. They do have on farms here. Matter of fact, the one I have, they're locally grown. And we are 3 months ahead of everybody else when we do on our vegetables and fruit because of the location of where we are at and because of the sun and the eating sun and so forth. So they are like right now ready. But no, I don't grow them. I grow mint and herbs.
we like our green beans, so we tend to grow them. It's, what is it now, April, so sometime next month we'll start getting busy. But I've got so many well, they're not really seedlings because I started in January this year. I mean, I had COVID. I was stuck at home. By the end of the month, I wasn't quite well enough to go out. But, you know, I have a 16-year-old who sows all my seeds for me. So I just gave her instructions.
Oh,
so,
I love that.
So
Can I share,
great.
Girl?
She sowed all the seeds. So we've got plenty of chilies because, you know, we grow lots of chilies every year. And then she also potted them up once they were seedlings. So I've got Kashmiri chilies that are already that big, about 6 different types of jalapenos, and definitely ají amarillo. This year, I'm determined that the chilies will ripen before October. So I started really early with ají amarillo because they take a long time to ripen. Anyway.
This year I have not done that. I have my herbs. I have my mint is growing beautifully. My oregano is growing beautifully. All my herbs are growing beautifully. I have some chili peppers are growing, and that's pretty much it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take 2 seconds here, Aslan. So I grated the 2 lemons and I mixed it with the parsley. So now I'm going to put the toasted pine nuts with it also, as well as the Parmesan cheese all together. And then I'm going to mix it all up and set it aside because my next step is sauteing the green beans for a couple of minutes on a hot boil. And then after that, we're going to finish it up with this beautiful concoction on top of it, and it's done.
Cool.
That's it. So this is it. And I wish you were here because this smells divine.
I bet. I really do love gremolata. So our potatoes are done. So I'm just going to drain them because, you know, my sinks, one's over there and one's over there. So yeah, I don't have a sink behind me like Giangi does, or to the side.
Actually on the side. So I'm going to be draining mine as well. I'm going to pull them out and draining them from the hot bath that they're in. So you're going to see another side of me today. So sorry, guys.
So we've got our potatoes are done, and yeah, fine. They're not spilling too much. So what I'm going to do now is just give them a quick fry, just to get some flavor, some charred flavor. So we're going to just use a little bit of olive oil. You know, do this in a frying pan, what you guys call a skillet, I think. Frying pan.
Skillet.
Just a little bit of
frying pan.
Yeah. So I don't use any aromatics apart from finishing off the salad with some spring onions, scallions. But you know, if you wanted to add some garlic here now before we drop the potatoes in, by all means do that. But I'm not bothering with that.
All righty. So how long is it going to take for your potato to cook in that?
2 minutes, 1 to 2 minutes. I'm just going to really char them on high heat. I'll turn that on. Okay.
Okay, and then because I have mine also to prepare, so I can actually start mine as well. I have drained my green beans and I am drying them as well. So that's what I'm doing while I'm massaging those little babies today. I feel like this recipe
you
is
want
so
someone
easy.
to do that on your shoulders, don't you, really?
Oh, I was gone last weekend and to a girlfriend of mine, and we had this fabulous body massage and scrub, a Korean place to die for. I recommend it highly to anyone. So I want to go back there just for that. All righty. I am starting my skillet, and on the skillet, I'm going to put a couple of tablespoons of olive oil. and I'm gonna saute on a high heat my green beans.
Okay, so I'm just going to fish our asparagus out and place them there to drain. And as soon as this is hot enough, we're going to dump the potatoes in there and fry them very, very lightly. So do you want to go ahead? Because they don't need to see me doing that. I mean, well, they can see me even while you're doing something. So what are you doing?
Well, right now I'm waiting for my pan to kind of warm up so I can saute those little green beans very quickly. I dried them out nicely so that I don't have splatter all over the place when I put them in the hot water, in the hot oil. And then as soon as they're done, I'm going to put them into my little container here, put the gremolata over it and sprinkle with lemon juice. And that's it. I'm done.
Okay, so I'm just going to dump the potatoes in there, okay?
Perfect.
That's it. High heat, a little bit of olive oil. You could add some garlic in there if you want to. And then we're just going to leave them there to just take on some color. That's all. Because remember, they've been boiled. They're cooked. We're just charring them to give them a little bit of crispy bits to add texture and flavor to our salad.
I am so sorry about this.
What's going on over there, Giangi?
I don't know, but I have no idea. Oh, you know what? We have a pastry squirrel. And we have birds who come onto the patio. For some odd reason, they think this is fake and it's driving him crazy. So while he's driving him crazy, and I got to cook. There you go. Putting them in and sauteing them a little bit.
Okay, so we're both doing the same thing. She's doing it with the beans, and I'm doing it with the potatoes. That's it. Just letting it take on some color. That's all. So in the meantime, what I'm going to do is just cut some scallions, spring onions, as we call them, to finish off the salad with. That's it. Green or the white bit, completely up to you, or both of them.
And I'm almost done here with this. I'll take it out, put it here. Literally, it takes truly 2 minutes just to warm it through. Nothing's more fancy than that. So now, one great thing about this dish, you can eat it cold, you can eat it hot, and it's fabulous. So you can, and also you can do everything up to this moment the night before, and then the day of Easter or any occasion when you want to use it, you can actually take everything out, make it room temperature, sauteed your green beans, and continue on, and that's it. You're done.
Cool. Right. I'm just going to show you the potatoes. When I say take on some color. So that's it. That's really all we're doing, letting them get a little bit of brown all over, or, half the potatoes, 2/3 of the potatoes, whatever. So that's it. That's done. So grab a salad bowl, any bowl, dump them in the bowl. And then remember our asparagus. We're going to add that there as well. So make sure they're a little bit on the dry side and place them in there. How many asparagus stalks you use is completely up to you. And then that's it. Drizzle our salad all over. And then finish off with our spring onions.
Fantastic.
How are you doing?
While I'm doing that, I am going to add the gremolata to it right now in the pan, and I'm going to give it a nice little saute. I know it feels like there is a lot of gremolata, but trust me, you want a lot of gremolata over it. I'm going to just mix it a little bit together on it, and then they get to be moved into a serving dish. Now the cheese melts a little bit with it, which it gives it a nice little crunchy flavor to it.
Okay. So your dish,
Okay.
are you serving it out now?
I am going to serve it up right now. I'm gonna just take them and put them in
As am
my
I.
dish here. Here. Now, all those beautiful morsel of pine nuts are just my favorite, and they become nice and soft when you put it for 2 seconds with the oil when you saute it, when you keep put them together. I always keep a little bit extra just to put on top of it. It's just me, but you don't have to. There you go.
Yeah,
And
you always leave something behind as a garnish, as a topping, don't you?
yeah, I always do. I always enjoy that part. And then I take a little lemon and I'm just gonna squeeze it over it. There you go. Because I like lemon, I like the little feel of the lemons over with it. And because of the lemon zest, it really picks up a nice little flavor to it. Get rid of all those little things. There you go. You know, you can put more, you can put less. I'm very generous with my lemon because I love lemons. So that's it. My little dish is all served and ready to be enjoyed. And somewhere I have a spoons, and there you go. All done. How are you doing back there?
Yeah, we're good too. We're good too. Here we go. All done. Finish off with a little bit of your spring onions, and then a little bit more salad dressing, because you know you can't ever have too much salad dressing, surely.
You never have enough salad dressing.
There we are. Now I'm not going to tip it too much, because we know what happens when you tip food off a flat plate, don't we, Giangi?
Yes, we do know how that, but this stays a little bit. There you guys.
There we
That's
are.
beautiful. I know it's kind of funny because the computers are kind of hand-going. So that's wonderful. So as you can see, in 26 minutes, we were able to do 2 wonderful recipes. And do we want to add anything else to it? What would you serve yours at Easter time?
So I tend to serve this when British asparagus, I think, have a very, very short season, about 4 weeks in June or something like that. So, you know, I like as much as possible to cook with the seasons, but that doesn't mean I don't buy stuff that's out of season. But if we've got something local in season, then, you know, I go all out. For example, we've got forced rhubarb now at the moment before the summer rhubarb comes. And so it's, you know, everything is in season. So I like to serve asparagus when we see them in the shops. So this is quite often served around the Easter holidays, because after all, our Easter holidays is a 4-day weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Easter Monday is a bank holiday as well. So it's a 4-day weekend. So there's lots of eating and you know, visiting and what have you nots going on. So yeah. So it makes a great side for lamb, for fish, or a vegetarian main, whatever you like. Or even, you know, if you want to have this as a lunch, why not have some bread on the side, and that's lunch. You've got your vegetables, you've got your carbs. So maybe you don't need the bread, but hey, you know, carbs.
There's always a little dip.
We love carbs. So there you go. What about you? What do you serve yours with, Giangi?
Well, I would have served this with my rack of lamb. I also serve this with fish and pork chops, and sometimes pork tenderloin. When you roast it nicely, you just put this. The gremolata, by the way, you can also use it if you make ossobuco. Is exactly the same recipe. So you can use the gremolata in different applications as well. You don't have to use it with the string beans. I happen to love this recipe this way. But we don't have 4 days. We have Good Friday with a lot of company. If you're Catholic, or they give you half a day off, but it's now mandatory. We don't have Easter Monday. We only have 1 day for Easter. So it's Easter Sunday. Usually it's a big brunch. Then we do have a lot of places offer a big Easter brunch. So that's I'm going to serve this with some little roasted potatoes, and then some dessert, which brings up a point then. What are we going to make next week?
We are going to do some easy desserts. Just two, because, you know, don't be greedy now. Just 2 desserts. I'm going to do one. Giangi's going to do one. And easy will be the theme. So look out for that. Giangi will be hosting it on her channel. Now, by now, I'm sure you're subscribed to Giangi's channel already if you're one of my followers. So make a note because it's a date.
Absolutely, it's a date. We will have all that information for you. I'm still debating which one to do. Now for today, if you do like this recipe, please do like, comment. If you have any questions, because we may have gone a little fast or we were going back and forth, please let us know. I'll be more than happy to answer. And do share our videos. All your support is greatly appreciated. Any suggestion also for future recipe, we love it. So
yeah,
please don't forget to do so.
Yeah, you fancy looking, you fancy any recipes, just let us know. And, you know, we'll be happy. We'll be happy to comply, as it were. So there you go, folks. Baby potatoes with asparagus. And what did you make, Giangi?
Green beans gremolata.
There you have it. Two fairly simple, pretty simple, in fact, sides for Easter or for any other time of the year. Thanks for joining us. And we shall catch you guys again next week. Bye.
Bye.